In this lesson we're going to be looking at malware and what it is and how you can protect yourself. So malware, which is short for malicious software, was originally designed as pranks really, but these days it's led on to more malicious things such as spyware, keyloggers, viruses, and they're basically pieces of code, programs that are installed onto your computer without your permission that can do a lot of damage. Often you'll find that they are trying to sell you things, so you may see banners or pop-ups saying that you've got a problem with your computer, and in order to fix it you need to download this piece of software, which may take the message off, but of course there was never a problem with your computer in the beginning. So they can damage your computer. Sometimes they just sit in the background gathering information, but it's important that you know how to get rid of malware, what malware is, and basically how to protect yourself from it moving forward. So what I would suggest you do is download a program that will allow you to scan and remove malware if any are found. Now I'd recommend at this stage a program called Malwarebytes. If you're a home user, you can download it for free. So just go to www.malwarebytes.org/mwb-download/ and that will take you through to this page here that will allow you to click the download now. So we'll go ahead and click that. We'll save it to our desktop and allow that to download. It's 16.5 megabytes at the moment, so it shouldn't take too long. There we go, we can already see that's downloaded now. So we'll just close the internet. So here's our Malwarebytes Setup program. So I'm going to double click and I'm just going to follow the on-screen wizard. So I begin by pressing run. I'm going to choose English as my language and then just proceed through. So we click next on the initial screen. You need to accept the terms and conditions, but of course it's up to you to have a read through, make sure you're happy with everything. Once you are, click on I accept the agreement and click next. There's some more things that you need to read through. Next again. It's going to ask you where you want to install it. I'd suggest leaving it as the default location. Click next. Once again it asks you what you want it named in your start menu. So click next on that. Do you want a desktop icon? You probably do, so that you can click on it on your desktop. And next, and finally click install. And we'll just sit there while Malwarebytes gets installed on the system. It shouldn't take too long, only a few minutes, a few moments rather. And there we go, we can see that it's installed. Now there's a couple of things to do at the end here. So you can ask you if you want to enable a free trial of Malwarebytes Anti-Malware Premium. We don't need to at this stage, so I'm going to untick that. And then it asks you if you want to launch the program. Now I'm just going to untick that for the moment and click finish. So now that it's installed that, I can get rid of the setup program, so I can just move that to my recycle bin. And here we go, we're going to start using Malwarebytes now. So we double click the program and we'll let that load up. So initially it's saying that a scan has never been run on my system, so I could well have malware on here. It's updating or checking the database version. Now we've just installed it, having just downloaded it, so it's going to pick up the latest database version. But of course, if we were to run it again in a week's time or 2 weeks' time, we might want to just update the database. And it's important that you do this because, let's say for instance, all of the malware that's out there at the moment is catalogued by Malwarebytes. So by running a scan, we're protected. Or at least it could pick up all of the malware that's currently recorded. Now of course, if someone goes out and creates a piece of malware tomorrow or in a few days time and that starts spreading around, the current database version we have doesn't know about that new malware. Okay, so if we run a scan in a week's time and we don't update our database, it may well miss that piece of malware because it doesn't know about it. It's important to always keep your database up to date, especially before you run a scan. So if you want to update it, all you need to do is come into this program as we did just now and click on update now, and it will check for updates, and if there are an update it will download it and automatically install it. You don't have to pay for them, it's all part of the system. So the license is the free one, that's fine. It wants to know if you want to buy premium. We've got our database. Scan progress, well there's not one running, so that's why it says not running. And real-time protection, that's a feature of the premium version, but like I say, at this stage we don't need to go for that. And so we're ready now to run a full scan. So I'm going to go ahead and click on scan now, and again it checks for updates first, and in a few moments we should see that the actual scan will start running through. Now, depending on your system and how many files you have, how big your hard drive is, how many drives it's actually scanning, that will all determine how long this scan will take. And it could take anything from a couple of minutes to a couple of hours. Again, it depends not only on your system, but for example what processor you've got, how much memory you've got, all that kind of thing. So you just need to let this sit and run. This objects scanned section here, that's going to run into the thousands, so you may be here for a little while. So we'll come back in just a few moments once this has completed its scan. Okay, so our scan has now run. That's taken around about 10 minutes or so, and you can see in this case it's actually found some malware. So down at the bottom right here we can see that the scan completed and malware detected, and in the main window we can see, if we look down the list, there's actually quite a few items that have been found. Now personally I'm not an expert in all the different types of malware, so in my case I just want to get rid of them all. So we need to choose an action. It's alerting us, choose an action for the deleted items. So I'm going to basically quarantine all of them, put them into a quarantine. There's nothing else I can do. If I click on the individual drop down, I can exclude it. So if I knew, for instance, that actually that wasn't malware and I'd be fine with that, I could exclude it, or I could just ignore it this one time, but I want to quarantine. If I look down the list, it's suggesting that I quarantine everything. So all I'm going to do is click on the quarantine all, and that should go through quarantine all. In actual fact it's already done that, so there we go. Potential threats detected is still saying here, but it's saying finish cleaning the items, view log for more details, and now we get the message saying that all the selected items have been removed successfully. Creates a log file. So your computer needs to be restarted to complete the removal process. Would you like to restart it now? So you're going to hit yes, and that will restart the computer. Okay, like I say, it's important to make sure that you run this on a regular basis. I'm just going to click no there for a moment so I can show you. Close the program, my little dialog box disappears. So in around about a week's time I'm going to go back into Malwarebytes, open the program up. I'm going to check for the latest database, so I'll click on update now, and then I'll just run the scan. Okay, so that's basically what malware is, and that's how you can protect yourself. That's not to say that nothing will slip through the net. Unfortunately, nothing is 100% safe, but at least if you're being proactive and making sure that you check for malware. Other things you can do, of course, make sure that you have your firewall operational, whether that be through Windows or whether it be through another program such as Norton Internet Security or something like that, or if you're within a corporate industry, make sure there's a physical firewall in place as well. And just be extra careful when you receive emails with links in them, or if you receive an email that has like an attachment that you're a bit funny about, or any kind of website or email that's asking you for information that you seem or that you deem would be a little bit too sensitive, banking details, anything like that. Okay, so protect yourself, use a bit of common sense, but a program like this, Malwarebytes, will help you along the way as well. So that's what malware is and how you can help protect yourself from it. Hope you enjoyed that. See you in the next tube.